The ideal student for me is someone who is intensely curious. I think that curiosity to me is what I'm teaching towards. I'm teaching towards people who really have lots of questions about the world and want to know more and want to go deeper and who are open to different ways of getting there. So I have a very unusual background because I have an interdisciplinary bachelor's degree, which is the Bachelor of Arts and Science. So in a way, I'm in the perfect spot because I work with computer scientists, I work with artists and designers, and I work with people who are interested in space. But I can link all of this together with this very important, to me, notion of being able to communicate and having the right to speak and to be heard. For many years, I've been practicing aerial circus arts, and I started this during my PhD, and I've continued now. And doing aerials, which basically means doing sort of tricks and exercises on pieces of equipment hanging up in the air, creates by necessity a kind of detachment and space for thinking about other sorts of things because you're up in the air and you have to think about what you're doing. I tell my students, especially my dissertation students, that what they need is space and time. And they need to create space and time in order to be able to learn. So you have to make spaces sometimes that are outside of your professional day-to-day and certainly outside of this kind of sense of pressure and commitment and organization, which we manage to transmit to our students. I think this is part of the culture that we have here. But it's also one I think that we can change and modify. And if we tell the students and ourselves that learning takes time, and that learning doesn't always have to happen in the library with a book in front of you. Sometimes it happens in the space of reflection after you've left the library, when you're walking home or when you're swimming or when you're doing your favorite activity. Then I think we can kind of create that sense of habits for lifetime and long-term learning. I had a dinner a few years ago where I invited some sort of London friends and realized that there were 3 people at my Christmas dinner table who were from my hometown who all worked at the LSE, and none of us knew each other growing up. And I thought, well, you know, in a way, this is a kind of testament to the background that we share, which was, you know, inflected with a strong sense of social justice, a strong sense of social purpose. That was part of the culture that we grew up in. If I were stranded on a desert island, I would miss my colleagues most of all. Hopefully I would have them with me because many of them are my friends, so maybe I would persuade them to come with me on my sort of doomed voyage that would strand me on this island. And then I could imagine perhaps like a kind of you know, critical social science desert island commune founded by washed up members of the LSE.